What is up, nerds? I am Taylor, and this is my YouTube channel slash somewhere where they were going to install AC and didn't. Yeah, this is Unboxing Match. It's episode 5. Basically, I swap a box with somebody in the community. We chat about life, we chat about comics, and whatever the heck else comes up in the next hour or so. This week's guest is the one, the only, Rob's Fat Stacks, wearing fat slacks and collecting fat comics. I don't know, lots of fat. Lots of comics, lots of stacks. You know him. He's on every live stream ever. The one, the only Rob. I'm going to invite him on, and yeah, we'll get into this.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends.
There you go. See? He's nothing if not a marketing genius. You can get your own Tumblr by, I don't know, winning it or buying it off. I don't know, somehow.
Just go to my Linktree store and buy one.
There you go. Everyone else has an OnlyFans. Rob has a Linktree. So,
yeah.
How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm just ducky. I've been looking forward to this. This box has been sitting here like,
yeah.
Open me. Open. It's like the old Mervin's commercial. Open,
yeah.
Open, open.
That is the problem with this kind of setup. Like, I've got a stack of books from people and stuff, and like they're just sitting there. I'm like, I have to be patient. I have to not. I'm starting to realize how Eddie feels now with the worst FOMO ever. Speaking of which, say hi to the chat real quick. We got Las Cruces. We got 3D Doritos. Tastes great.
I only eat 3D Doritos. Nice. Incidentally, I haven't been able to. I don't like the taste of two-dimensional ones. I find them lacking.
All right, you like the puffy ones? Nice. We got Eddie and Mr. Lynx. How are you doing tonight, everybody? And
DJ Lynx.
He's in the building. I know his game. He'll jump in, he'll say hi, and then he just ducks out. So it looks like he's in every live.
Well, that's
What's up, Eric? How you doing tonight?
Then you just cycle back through periodically and drop some other comments. Oh, it looks like you're still there.
Yeah, so it looks like you're everywhere at once.
But as long as they keep it running in the background, so you get the watch time, what difference does it make?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. False. But yeah, that's that. Now that we're mocking the community and getting everybody to leave,
or giving away our secrets, one or the other.
One or the other. Yeah. All right, so yeah, these are $100 price points. Is kind of like what we decided on for this one. And I will say, I'm going to have you open first, and you have been the most challenging person to open box. Don't do this for. We talked about this a little bit, and some of this is like your Monday mail call / your Instagram. If you want shit, you just buy it, which makes you very tough to build a box for. So
I've heard my wife say this repeatedly.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a rough thing. Like I'm doing my best to hopefully catch things that are at least tangential to your interest.
Yeah,
you might not own. So that's how I'm going to phrase it. So.
That is fair. Actually, I haven't even cut this open yet. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to make sure I do it away from me.
All right, there we go. This is where Rob cuts his hand off on camera just for the views.
Yeah.
What's the Painted Pages?
I'll bleed for you.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So, like a lot of us, your comic collecting seems to have shifted whilst doing YouTube's. Like, you do definitely have a favorite character if the wall behind you is any indication, like just ratio wise. And that seems to be Spider-Man. Obviously, Ben Reilly, not the original, but no. What is it about Peter Parker that like appeals to you and keeps you coming back to the proverbial well?
Yeah, Spider-Man is definitely number one for me, and that's just always been because, look, we're nerds, right? I mean, look, I was in 4th grade. I got glasses, I got braces, I got moved to a new school and knew nobody. I was, and I was a smart kid who was in the, all the advanced learning stuff, blah blah blah. So you got separated from everyone else, and you weren't super coordinated, right? So you could relate to Peter Parker, and that was you got it. And then to be able to have the moral compass and not just beat up people for the sake of beating them up, everything else that they did, and the I was in scouts, and so the whole idea of responsibility and all these different things, it all just was a great symmetry that that made a lot of sense. And I connected with him. That was when I was just watching cartoons when I was young and all that stuff. I never read comic books until I was in college. And by then, actually, the first comic book I picked up was Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man, Spider-Man 29. But I mean, it was obvious just a matter of short time before I was going to go back to, because I think at that time, Peter Parker was on the Fantastic Four, actually,
Yes,
which is now coming back around.
Yeah, he's wearing the bag again, right? The new, I don't know.
Well, right now, yeah, he's doing the bombastic bag he was doing in the in his regular title. Yeah, well, he's been retraining his body. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you also go around trying to get every spider to bite you just in case? While you're
Pardon?
Did you try and get every spider you came across to bite you while you're in high school?
Oh, no.
Just to try and get powers?
No. Didn't play in radioactive sewage or anything else like that.
No,
so So one of these is much lighter than the other.
I think one's probably empty. I just did it as filler.
I'll open that one first just to see, just to make sure.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
look at this, guys.
Yeah,
that's the king
of
a mystery box.
It's either that or you got packing peanuts. You were gonna get packing peanuts.
It's such a mystery box.
Yes,
you can't even see what's in it.
It's a 1-of-1 invisible ratio variant. Yes, it'll go on your slab walls. The invisible slab.
So we got. I haven't seen these boxes from these guys. These little kind of.
Yeah, those are kind of the last round. The ones I ended up buying from them. That Spider-Man booth makes good boxes, and they make for good reboxing. So.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love. I use them quite extensively myself for mystery boxes and whatnot. I usually have to collect them all year because I don't do enough of them. Yeah. So that way, by the time I'm ready to do a round of mystery boxes, I have 10 on hand. But
I used to get like 4 or 5 a week, and now I'm down to none a week. So
I'm going to assume that the top.
Yeah, start at the top. Start at the top. I'm not. You're one of the first ones I packed, and since then I've given better directions. But I figured
that's fine.
Yeah.
Put this cardboard out of the way.
And for those watching at home or from your car, if you're like hiding from stalkers or whatnot, what we did, we gave each other kind of like a list of like things we're into, not into, and all that. And Rob and I have interacted a fair amount, so we have a decent idea. I almost guarantee there's gonna be some stuff in there he doesn't quite like. But what do you do? So it's just the nature of mystery box, no matter what. So.
All right. So the first one is not part of the mystery box. This is the win from from Taylor does a review show where he does trade papers backs and oftentimes, and then he usually gives away the trade paperback at the end. Give some minor instructions. Sometimes like this one, all you had to do is leave a comment down below.
Yeah, and I think
my comment was like, comment left down below.
Yeah,
something really freaking satirical or whatever. But so I won. That's all you have to do to win free books to read, guys. Is what day is that, Taylor?
Tomorrow, Tuesday.
Tuesday. Look at that.
And you can win. Like thanks for Pippin. You can win Family Tree if you watch tomorrow. So
yeah. So make a note. Go ahead. We'll give you a second. Put it on your calendar. To mark it so that way you can make, or you know what, better yet, we'll make it easier. Hit the notification bell.
There you go. And while you're at it, go subscribe to Rob's channel because every Saturday he gives away a shitload of books.
That's true.
So, on Slab Hub. So just give him a follow too.
The Iron Ghost. I don't even remember what it was about anymore, but I just remember thinking it was like Nazi something or whatever. It sounds cool. Let's read it.
Yeah.
Even though you had less than a stellar review of it, but that's okay. Yeah. I liked Iron Sky, and that's a crappy movie. So
Iron Sky is better than Iron Ghost, but whatever.
Wow. All right. So first one up from the mystery box, we have the minimal trade variant of the the David Nakayama punchline number 1.
Yes.
I actually don't remember. I don't know if I have this one. I think I have like 40 different variants of the punchline number 1, but I'm thinking the minimum trade I might not have.
Well, you're welcome to it. That was a little bit of trolling and everything else. No. Because you enjoy the character, whereas the character is hot garbage.
I don't dislike the character. No, not at all. Okay, yeah, and I see the spot where this is exactly what you're talking about, where I'm a son of a bitch because you probably had these in here, and then I started pulling these up recently. Yeah. Some Mystery in Space. This is at the end of the original run.
Yes, and my hope is you're not collecting anything that new. So we'll see.
I was collecting this original run, so I do have these. Okay, but that's okay. Yeah. I will either compare them against what I have, or the others will make themselves into the giveaway
There you
box. I can share my sci-fi love with others.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Mystery in Space took a break of about 15 years.
Yeah.
And then they just continued the run. And so that was like when they continued. The original run has a lot of great firsts in it and a lot of great Adam Strange stories. And like
After about 100, it got really weird. Well, once they introduced the multi-alien, it really got it got weird. And then when he went away and this stuff came, but it's still whatever. I think it ended at 117, and then it went on to it took its hiatus. This next one, I love this. This is awesome. I do not have this. Totally awesome. The Invaders. I love the Invaders. Although I don't collect. I only have 2 Invaders books.
Oh,
so pretty good chance that I was going to. And you get you got Master Man. Master Man. He's a good-looking Aryan boy, ain't he?
Yeah, good old Dolph Lundgren looking guy. Rocky 4. You know, like yeah.
Man, nice. All right.
I wish they would do an Invaders movie set in World War II. I don't think they ever would, but it would be a great.
Oh yeah. Star Wars issue 21. I can't recall if I have this cover or not. I remember seeing this cover.
Yeah, it's a minor key. It's like first Scar Squadron, I think, or first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
You can't go wrong with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just like this book here. Now I have multiple copies of this, but I always am intrigued when I see a copy of this to potentially pick up another copy. So, and this is a newsie on top of that, Shogun Warriors #1. Yeah. This was like super my jam as a kid, growing up as a kid. Freaking all these, Shogun Warriors, Johnny Sokko's fighting robot, all these things.
Yeah.
So awesome. Oh God, this is a great book. And this is a book that's
very underrated. I mean,
it is. It heated up for a while, and it's still riding the high from the fake spec from crossover, but still great book.
Everything else kaiju is hot as all hell. You'd think some of those old robot stuff would make it, but I don't know.
It's just time.
Yeah.
But hey,
Eddie had one of those toys apparently. So
yeah, they had the projectile fists, and they were they had one that was like 3 foot or a foot and a half tall or something.
Oh yeah, they had a big one. My older cousins had that, and I was so jealous of it. But because
they had that, and then there was a Godzilla one too that also had rocket fists.
Yeah,
everything in the 70s and
they
was trying to kill you.
Your eye out. They were just like, you know what, this shit's gonna fire.
Hey, we got spring technology. We know we can do something with that.
I used to be really envious too because they also had the old Cylon Raiders with the fight that would fire.
I had those. The Cylon Raiders had it's the pot on the side. It had 2 missiles, and then the Viper had a single.
Viper had the one.
Yeah, I had those.
Nice, those are great.
As a kid, yeah. Incidentally, funny enough, I mean, I ended up as a kid getting a gate spring explode in my eye. And,
well, there you go.
But springs.
Well,
there you go. Star Wars 3D.
Again, I had to try and figure out some weird crap you might not own, Rob. So
what's funny is I don't know. This is probably not. I've had this book in the past and moved it on to somebody else at different times. Because if you don't have the glasses, it's really just.
And I can't see in 3D. And somebody put that in as I think Jimmy Jam's garage sale put that in as a bonus book for me, but I can't view any of those 3D things.
Right.
So like DJ Lynch put in an Elf 3D in my book.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That one was the camera wouldn't even focus on.
Yeah. So, now I want to go hunt on eBay for those old Battlestar toys and stuff. I'm sure they're not cheap. So.
Oh no, they're not. I saw them at a con once. And... All right, so this next one, dude. Shit, this is awesome. I do not own this, and this would be 100%. This is 100% my jam, right here. This is awesome. This is Strange Adventures. With the robots on the cover. I mean, robots. Fuck yeah.
I was
151.
That was hard for me to give up because I love that goddamn cover.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
If anybody would appreciate it, it'd be you. And I also wanted to give you yet another rabbit hole to dive down and collect. So I figured
Strange Adventures. Yeah, I recently picked up a couple of Strange Adventures, but right around this number too. But because I picked up one of the early appearances of the creature with no face and stuff like that. Actually, funny enough, it was on today's mail call.
Oh, nice. Strange Adventures has some weird keys in it too. Like First Animal Man is in there, and First Dead Man, and like a lot of these like underrated DC spec books are hidden in some of these old titles. So
Exactly.
like Showcase, Brave and the Bold, Strange Adventures, Mystery in Space, they all have weird first appearances. Like,
all right, last book in here. Amazing Spider-Man 123. I have recently started to expand my collection of when I pick up Spider-Mans in the 100s, and I don't have very many of them, and this is one I do not have.
good.
So awesome. So Tyler, I think you did really well, man. Got
man, I tried.
Couple great books in here, and even things like this where I have it, this is one of those almost like it's almost like Amazing Spider-Man 2099. I'm not quite as prolific in picking these up when I see them at a good price, but every time I see them, I want it anyways.
There you go, DJ. Yeah. This is the box for Rob, not for you, DJ.
Yeah, look at this. This is not the DJ would be just like, oh,
yeah, exactly. And this will go on his trash pile with his mystery boxes, which is fine. That's the whole point of the curated mystery every week. So I hope you're happy. It was fun putting together for you, but like I said, you were a tough one.
Oh, yeah.
You're a struggle.
I know I'm a jerk like that.
But I was watching because I'm watching your unboxings. I'm like, I'll see if he gets a whole lot of these in the amount of time it took to get this scheduled and get on, because I'm trying to schedule these a few weeks in advance. And all right. Nice.
I was purposely actually after we had kind of talked about it, I was purposely trying to limit what I was doing. The last couple of weeks of mail calls had been stretched out over,
Well, like I said, I hope there's a few in there you like, and it was a fun
absolutely
thing.
Absolutely.
For folks that are watching, just real quick before I dive on into this, which I'm dying to do, I do have an opening right now on March 14th. So if anybody's able and willing to wants to put together a box fairly quickly, hit me up on Instagram at Empty Thought Balloon, because I can get one out to you. If you're in the U.S., it'll get there and stuff, and we can make it work. And so if you have any interest, hit me up on Empty Thought Balloon. If you're watching this on the rewind, hit me up regardless. It might have been scheduled by then, but if not, we can get you in the future. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So now I am big on myself because I've been dying because yeah, you and I have similar tastes and like fairly similar like sci-fi, nerdery. Oh, we have a lot of overlap. And look, another recycle, kids. We only have one planet. So yeah,
that's right. IRF.
Yeah. Oh, it's sealed with a sticker. And this is my
branding, baby. Branding.
My favorite thing to do is stickers. Cut them in half. Eddie, we'll see. Yeah, hit me up. We'll talk. I'm gonna push you to the back burner if anybody new wants to do it, but I will take you as first backup. How about that, sir?
That's the consolation prize.
Yeah,
that you are.
All right, well packaged. We've got a lot of bubble wrap. No packing peanuts. So for the right person to troll the right person, I think packing peanut box would be a lot of fun. So.
Oh yeah. Tyler comes to mind.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, I don't trust. I'd love to have Tyler on here. I think he would make a very interesting box. I just think it'd be a lot of trolling. But
I would need to grind up those packing peanuts though before I send them to Tyler.
Or have you seen there's this one YouTuber that like leaves packages on his porch for people to steal, and they're all glitter bombs and stuff, or they all. And so they all have cameras and stuff in them. So that's what I would just glitter bomb the hell out of them or something. So
that could be good.
Branding. I'm guessing I start on the sticker end. With the pull tabs. The way
I thought I labeled something, but
you might have. But it's face down, so we're gonna go with it and see what happens. So yeah. So
face down. Face down sounds good.
Ooh, nice. I do not have this, and I dig this. This is Barry Windsor Smith, one of the finest artists of any generation. I love his stuff. And Machine Man's another underrated character, and I dig this, man. He was one of the first to really do these like over the top. At the time, like this was like insanely detailed. Now there's a lot of artists that kind of like ape his
Well,
style.
and this is the equivalent of the Wolverine #1. I mean,
oh
this is the first of the mini series
yeah,
of
this
the
is
Machine
great.
Man and a newsstand
And a newsie and in really nice shape.
That's right.
Yeah, and we get more. Sweet. I'm loving this so far, Rob. These are great. Yeah. For those you don't know, Machine Man appeared in 2001, A Space Odyssey #8, because Jack Kirby went a little batshit nuts when he ran out of like movie adaptations to copy and just kind of did his own thing. Ooh, hell yeah. I'm also a big Howard the Duck fan, in case you guys didn't know. So I like weird ass characters. The weirder the better. Like, why the hell Marvel ever stopped having fun and doing this kind of stuff? I don't know. Like they came close, like with Squirrel Girl for a couple years, and now they're back to. And I think they tried with Reptile, but that just didn't. Yeah, no. And I also am a big Thor fan, so hells yes.
Yeah, that one's a little rough, but
whatever, man. It's a Bronze Age Thor, like a Halloween issue with Loki on the cover.
Yeah,
like some of these are going to be rough. Like I don't need. I appreciate the wear and the patina on old covers. Like I don't necessarily need things in a very high grade, especially the old stuff.
Right.
If I'm opening a traditional mystery box, I will bitch about it to no end.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. You know,
is that the purpose here?
Yeah, this is. But like, if I'm collecting for myself, like you've seen some of my stuff I've had. Like I have like a 1.8 restored of the first Adam Strange that you had to go and one up me on. Well done, sir.
Well, yeah. It's how the game's played.
Yeah, and you're not going to at least agree that Tom King destroyed that or did his best.
Oh, he absolutely killed. I hate that. I don't know. Everybody who tells me that it was good, I'm like, did you read something different than me?
Yeah, like you just totally trashed the character of a fine hero. But anyway, speaking of fine heroes, hell yes, we got a nice newsie, 4th or 5th Beta Ray Bill, who's one of the finest creations ever. Walt Simonson. Another my favorite artist too. Like I love Walt Simonson stuff.
Yeah, you're like, I love a Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah,
I got something for you.
You do, and another one. The issue I do not have. I have a couple of the 350s because I bought like a 10-pack for like $4 back in the day before there was a spec book. But I do not have this one. And I had it at one point, but like a lot of my original collection was waterlogged and destroyed. And this is great. I mean, just look at he draws a mean Thor. He really does. He like, and his unlike Nick Klein, who draws a sad Thor in the new comics, this is not a sad Thor.
It's Thor.
It is. He's
roid raging Thor.
Yeah, he's in the 80s. He's on cocaine. Oh hell yeah, Rob! This is my jam. Oh yeah, we're getting into some of my jam for sure. Yeah, Neil Adams, nice dead man. Speaking of strange adventures, this is what second or third.
200. Oh yeah, that's like. Well, that's gonna be like the 7th.
It might be, yeah.
He
was in 205, but I wasn't sure if he was in everyone consecutively.
There was they would do like that. They would introduce a character, and I think Dead Man was like in like the next like 10 issues or something like that.
Yeah, it was something. But this is awesome. Don't die, Tiny. It's a great cover. Thanks, man. I'm loving this so far. This is awesome. Speaking of which, another one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, now that one though is a key, a minor key.
What, first Lazarus
Pit.
Yeah, nice. I don't have this one either. No, I didn't. So I've been hunting. Like Robin, I have a feeling you and I trolled a lot of the same eBay auctions for a while, and I probably swore your name repeatedly after you won said auction. So, because I've learned this is advice to the community: do not bid over your set amount. It's a good lesson for real estate. It's a good lesson for comics. It's a good lesson for life.
And none of those should be more than you can afford.
Yeah, that too. Ooh, nice. Hell yeah. Speaking of Adam Strange, this is a nice crispy cover. This is a great one.
Yeah, so this is one that like I picked it up and I have this. I had it. I picked it up in a lot, I think it was.
Nice.
And I was gonna send it in to be graded because I have one that's a 7.5, and I think that one was going to be at least a 7.5.
I would say so. Yeah, I mean this is pretty crispy with the nice blacks on it.
And it looks beautiful with the sci-fi character logo on it because it's a monster attacking Bubble Helmet Woman. And this is actually
it's a reprint, right? Wow.
Yeah, these are reprints of. That's like a reprint of issue 55. I think it is, of Mystery in Space.
Yeah.
But doesn't
It's
matter.
great.
It's a
Oh, it's
freaking
awesome.
awesome cover.
Hell yeah. Dude,
Good story.
I'm digging this. I'm digging it. And then we have a 1980s, or wait, no, this is 90s. This is a new one. Yeah. And this is actually the Tom King run I did not hate. Like, although Tom King likes to destroy heroes, and this is kind of one he sort of did, but I didn't have any great attachment to Miracle Man. So when he made Miracle Man a bit suicidal, I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had that or not, but
I don't.
Like,
I actually like this. Tom King, like, he's very hit or miss for me, but I like this run, and I love Mitch Gerard's art. Like, Mitch Gerard's art is not one of my complaints of the new Strange Adventures. I dug it, and I think this cover too. Yeah, this is great. All right. Oh snap! Hell yeah! I don't know what this one is either.
Kind of forgot how many books I threw in there.
I was like, in here, yeah.
I kept pulling books. I'm all, this is for Tyler, and this is for Tyler.
It's a nice one. I'm sure this is a key too, but I couldn't tell you what
I don't.
It might not be, but either way, it's a very cool cover.
It's just it's just old and early in the run.
Yeah, and all these Doctor Strange are heating up because everything's a spec book now. Like, for Superior Iron Man. Like,
so it means I think there's 2 more books.
There are, yeah. Oh, okay. Jesus, dude. Yeah, all right. Nice. This is 3rd or 4th Brother Voodoo, right? Yeah, 73rd. Yeah. This is awesome. Hell yeah. They don't make covers like this anymore. Like, they just you have technology and you have variants and you have like Delato doing.
They don't make characters like that anymore.
They don't. Well, no, because they're for several reasons. But like, yeah. Yes, what Eric said, but spelled a little differently. So, what's up, James? And then, last and certainly not least, hell yeah. Remember we were talking about comics and showcase? And nice. This is like 2nd or 3rd Silver Age Spectre, too. So, these are fantastic, Rob. A lot of fun. I did this. Another one of the underrated characters that, like, they're giving the Wonder Twins a series. But they're not giving the Spectre or Animal Man or Eddie.
Well, the Spectre got to show up on WB, sort of.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. He should never be on WB. He should be on HBO Max doing something mostly evil, but still kind of good. Yeah.
Instead of becoming freaking the Green Arrow.
Yeah, these are fantastic. Yeah. Instead of the WB. I stopped watching the Green Arrow by then because it just turned into Villain of the Week weirdness. So
yeah, I honestly completely forgot how many books there was.
Yeah,
obviously I went over. I probably went over.
Rob went over. Rob
just
cheated. So
to be honest, I'll be honest with you. A couple of those books were just sitting in like a pile of stuff. I was like, oh, these are not really mine. I got to get rid of these somehow. And I was like that Thor, that first Thor book.
Oh yeah.
It's like I hadn't put it in the giveaway box or nothing because it was like a little bit beat up compared to what I wanted to do. And so I was like, oh, I got to figure something out with this at some point down the line. And then when this came up, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. So it was like, to me, they were $0 books because some of them were just like, I don't know what else to do with them because I got to find that right person that wants them. And if I just give them to somebody generically, they go like,
well, that's what I mean. Yeah, like you're the only one that really would appreciate it. I mean, like the Strange Adventures robot book.
Right.
I think that that ASM I sent you. I think it's the funeral of Gwen Stacy. I think, and so
so I think so. It's like the first fight between
so it's a minor piece, and it's a fairly pricey book, but like you're the only one that would really appreciate it. It's like for the most part.
Oh, dude, this is awesome.
And the robot stuff and the sci-fi, like who else?
Strange of it. That's
I mean that's a cool cover. That's just
that's in really good condition too. I mean, there's some spine ticks, but it's probably without pulling it out and looking at it, it looks like it
presents very well.
657.
Yeah, for a
50-year-old
awesome book.
Oh no, dude, awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving this, and hell yeah, man, this is right up my jam. So
I wasn't sure which I was more interested in seeing what you found for me or seeing your reaction to the books I found for you.
Yeah, it's sort of like Christmas where you're interested to see what you get, and you hope it's not just the bunny suit from and you actually get the BB gun from A Christmas Story, but you're also kind of like, oh, Chris, well, hang on, we can do a recap for you. We can have Rob run through it. We're in the chatting stage of it all, so
sure.
Oh, nice.
Some 3D Star Wars. The Strange Adventures with Robots. Yes. An ASM 123. Luke Cage. A Star Wars book. 21.
Nice. Speaking of missing it and Moss's it or whatever, I think Chip is going to be next week's guest. So tune in next Monday.
Master Man.
Yeah. Yes, I gave Rob another Shogun. It's
some mystery in space. And in the punchline of the box.
Yeah. And and I got hang on. I love StreamYard, but I'm not good at it.
That's right, Chris. I got like 5 Shogun Warriors.
I got some sweet ass machine gun. Yeah, we did, James. Howard the Duck, hell yeah, number 5. Sweet. I'm gonna end up with a whole I'm getting I got about half the Howard the Duck run just from other YouTubers. Which is great. Nice. Yeah. Nice Bronze Age Thor. Hell yeah. I don't have that one either. This one I have, but I'm always happy to have more Beta Ray Bill. I can never have too much Beta. It's sort of like Robin Shogun Warriors. I will never say no to Beta Ray Bill because he's my jam. And I don't have this one. When I dug about Simonson just real quick too, is he didn't he made Mjolnir pretty small. It was never a big thing. Thor was always the weapon, and Mjolnir was just his tool, like a hammer should be. Anyway, size doesn't matter is what I'm saying. So hell yeah. Strange Adventures with Dead Man. Strange Adventure with Dead Man. Nice Neil Adams. Good first Lazarus Pit. Strange Adventures with Adam Strange. Great spacey cover with the earth wormy thingy, whatever. Space. Timey-wimey goodness. Mr. Miracle, the one that Tom King did not fuck up. So all Marvel 90s. Thanks, Chip. I'm looking forward to it. Good old Doctor Strange with the Eternity, which is the weirdest thing Marvel's ever done, possibly. Brother Voodoo. I take it back. Marvel's done a lot of weird stuff in the day, but hell yeah. Good old Showcase. Or no, Brave and the Bold. Sorry. I always mess those two titles
Both
up.
of them are underrated titles that introduce so much.
And then last and not least, the Machine Man #1 limited series from the 80s with the good old Barry Windsor Smith. So Mr. Miracle is actually, it's not a fun read. It's a pretty depressing read because it's Tom King and he doesn't write fun. Anyways, I can tell. But,
But the book is in good condition, yeah.
Oh, it's a great condition. And I dug it. I mean, I dig some of his writing, and I dug that one or whatever. I have it in a trade paperback. I just didn't want any of the individual issues on that one. So, UPC Machine Man, hell yeah, great individual. All right, so other than what I know, Spidey, and I know if you're what and Batman is another one you're really
yeah. Well, I mean, Batman's just Batman. I mean, he's freaking badass, right? I don't know what it is about him because obviously I don't identify as being an orphan millionaire whose parents were murdered.
Yeah,
but it's just I don't know. Growing up, Batman was the other one that he was. I guess he was human of the DC pantheon of freaking gods, essentially. Batman was the human that you could kind of relate to from that side of the whole thing, I guess. So
that makes sense. Because that's what really did differentiate DC from Marvel. DC was a lot more fun in the Silver Age, and Marvel, everyone struggled. Except for maybe Fantastic Four, they quabbled, but
yeah. But those two are my main of the mainstreams. Those are the two that I tend to read in some of the tangent books. It's like with Spider-Man. As growing up, I would read all the various Spider-Man books, of course, and obviously now I read Spider-Gwen. I don't read Miles Morales so much, but I know of the character, and now of course new 2099 are coming out. I'll be like, yeah.
Hopefully they don't mess it up. They went back to the original costume for that one too, Miguel, didn't they?
Yeah. For that one's coming up. They never.
sorry, painted. It's 12, I think, is cameo, and 13 is first full. Whatever. The cameo first full. We can get into that argument forever, but yeah.
But yeah, those are the two major ones, and they're kind of they're coming to some of the side stuff, and then it's been obviously always Star Wars,
Yeah.
Just because that's what we grew up with and stuff.
Sure.
And that's kind of where I think a lot of the sci-fi stuff comes from. Growing up, it was Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. Watching reruns of Lost in Space, watching whatever, all the stuff that you get. A lot of the rerun stuff that we saw was kind of that atomic age type of stuff. And that just space was always just something that was really kind of interesting to me. And so I love that era. And so once I kind of like settled in, that was like seeing that stuff. It's just like the rate, that 50s era.
Yeah, it was so fun.
It's just it's like maybe that's why I like the 57 Chevy, like the cars that look like spaceships.
What's up, sir? Yeah, I think that's something that like I know we like people. The older you get, you always like kids these days don't understand, but they really never will, because like when we grew up, we all sort of had the same kind of content that like and like they would recycle stuff from like before our era. It just showed in reruns on like Sunday afternoon,
right? Because we had UHF channels. You only had maybe 2 or 3 networks, depending upon where you live, when you get those. And then you might have a couple local stations, and those local stations on the UHF dial would get cheap programming because they didn't have the money, so they bought stuff from syndication, and that was typically the reruns. So we grew up with that. So our pop culture knowledge far exceeds our actual age, because we have a deep understanding of shows that were running in the 60s and the 50s,
because that's cheap, and
they were cheap, and they filled up the day, and we watched them all the time.
Yeah, and then like and some of the old cheesy like Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and like Up All Night with like they would just
stay up and watch creature features or whatever else.
Exactly, like all these old Universal monsters. I know you're not a giant horror guy, but it all does kind of overlap.
But I don't count those as horror because I do like the Universal monsters, right? The original. So
well, I think there's a difference between the Universal monster horror and like today's like
slasher films,
slasher gore.
That's what I'm not a fan of the
Yeah.
slasher genre, whereas I am the classic kind of monster.
Yeah, me too.
To some degree, right? You know.
Yeah, and the Doctor Who, like we also get like the old Doctor Who because it's cheap, and yeah. So all and like if you're of a certain age, like Rob's age, and we're pretty close. Yeah, that's we could all have like at least some overlap in common. Whereas now there's so much content and so much coming out that people nowadays, and like with social media and like every network specialized and like there's programming 24 hours a day on everything. Like back when we were in, like
TV went off
the air. Like like come midnight, it all shut down, and people went to bed. They're like, no, we're done. You don't need TV now.
Exactly.
Like,
11 o'clock at night, midnight. Sometimes it might go as late as 1 or 2 in the morning, depending on the channel, whether it was a network or an independent station.
Yeah, but that and then that also led to like one of the greatest comedies of all time, UHF.
Yeah, exactly. Lives every Saturday on my channel when I spin the wheel of fish.
Yeah, exactly. And no one has any clue what the hell you're talking about. So.
Come on down to Spatula City.
Monster Squad, nice. Yeah.
For that, you get the drink from the fire hose.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's all. So yeah, that's good. And then also, it's like when I look at art. It's like I appreciate the digital art that comes out today and stuff, but it just doesn't have the warmth.
Yeah.
That when I'm looking at books, cover art from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, even some of the stuff from the 70s, even though I'm not as big of a fan of the Bronze Age, I do recognize the Bronze Age has its own unique style. And I appreciate it as well. My heart really kind of settles in on that 40s to 60s art range, where that's what kind of pulls me into that era when I'm looking at books. Sometimes I'm looking at stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm collecting,
Yeah,
solely just because it's cover art, and I'm
that's
being an art aficionado at that point.
well, and honestly, to be fair, some of the stories back are hot garbage in that era too. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to put the Silver Age or the Golden Age on a pedestal. Some of them are trash stories, but the
Oh,
art is
they're
incredible.
difficult to read.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
especially through today's lens, and like, there's a lot of racism, a lot of misogyny, a lot of awfulness in some of the stories. But
and when you're picking up, so like when I pick up a mystery in space book, for
yeah,
example, and I go to pick it up to read it. Okay, first of all, there's like 4 stories,
yeah, which is
4
great. You got a
complete.
lot of bang for your buck. But they're
Right.
like,
Well, except that the stories are like 5 pages long.
they're all source
Yeah,
oriented.
so it's really kind of like glossing over a lot of plot to get
It
from
is,
point
and
A to
it's a lot
point
of
B
formulaic stuff.
and
Like,
end it in a
they found
short
something
period.
in the jungle and they turned into something. There's a
Right.
lot of that, and there's a lot of like, I mean, there's a whole lot of repeat kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it can't, and of course, that, but at least those aren't super wordy. Whereas
yeah.
like some of that early '60s Spider-Man
Oh
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
they
When
must
it
have
was,
gotten paid by the letter
I think so, and it was
because
also written Marvel style, so it was all just filled in after. So there's a brief little outline. They drew it, and then Stan Lee's like, "I'm writing all," or whoever's like, "Yeah, we're filling all this in to explain it." So
yeah, and you just find yourself okay, we read 3 lines on each page and see if I can't figure this out because I don't have time for this.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I do love reading
Yeah.
some of it, like the old Batman and like World's Finest. There was one issue where like Batman snuck into the Fortress of Solitude and like just messed it all up, did everything, and like you don't find this out till the end, but like it's like because Superman goes there and like it's like, who the hell's in here? And he's like starts exploring and he's like, who can do this? Who can do this? Who can do this? And like you think something a supervillain broke in, and it turns out Batman's like, no, I just gave you a little riddle to solve for your birthday. You're welcome to Earth anniversary. It's like such weird Silver Age goofiness. Like, who could have knocked over the giant penny, or not, or the arrow that opens it? And
World's Finest is a whole treasure trove unto its own.
it
The
is,
first
yeah.
anything issue 150 and below, roughly. I just arbitrarily grab 150 because that's where around there is where I roughly start to see some tonal shift. But
Yeah,
that early stuff, wow, it's like how are we going to make Batman or Robin have Superman's powers this week
yeah,
or
exactly.
mix it around, or ooh, let's pretend we're dead and
Yeah,
fool our friends.
yeah.
What?
There's a lot, but much like today's covers, like a lot of those covers back then have nothing to do with Into the Comics. So, like,
Most of them have absolutely nothing to
yeah,
do.
it's kind of like today's variant covers, where it's like, all right, just yeah, fair enough. He defaced. Yeah, I'll give that to you. He's much like Billy that felt the need to write his name on every single cover. That was Stan Lee. Like,
Oh my god.
or those librarians, whoever date stamped all of them, and I don't mind the date stamps. I think that adds to it. But like when kids practice their penmanship on books, I'm like, sons of bitches.
Yeah, we were talking about the other day because I forget who I was talking to, but they had an older book that was like signed like 2 or 3 times by that poor kid.
Yeah,
My Platinum Age book's got like, you know, 12 stamps on it
yeah.
or something. It's
Well, I
like,
mean, honestly, back during the paper shortages and stuff, like comic books were probably cheaper and they were worth more paper value, like than they were as comics, which
fair enough.
was also like modern books.
Well, and of course you had to save metal, so they only had one staple.
True. Yeah. Oh boy. So do you
Keep
have
our
any?
boys fighting. Buy war bonds today.
Yeah. So are you? I know you've been on the Silver Age sci-fi kick. Are you branching backwards in time now and trying to collect more like Golden Age stuff, or is it just kind of whatever strikes your fancy?
So Golden Age stuff is one of those things where I I will pick up a book periodically when I find a cover that interests me that's cheap.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend. I'm not here to go and collect any runs really in the Golden Age. I've toyed with the idea of maybe like a Captain Midnight,
Sure.
because for the most part I can get a lot of them without killing myself, and I may eventually still do that. But there's a lot, some of the stuff that I really like Planet Comics.
Oh, those are tons of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Like,
talking, $700-800 minimum for a
yeah.
tore up
Yeah.
pile of paper shreddings.
Yeah. They're very cool
And
covers though.
they are right. I mean, at this
Some of the
point in
old Flash
time,
Gordons and so yeah, there are a lot of them. Like
yeah. So like, I mean, I've got like a couple Flash Gordons I've been working on for some Harvey comics and stuff, and I
yeah,
might like look at some of the Buck Rogers stuff that are stuff that's reprinting newspapers, not
yeah,
newspaper columns. They're not actually news
yeah. Well,
stories.
that's when you just get
Um,
those little big books. That's your easiest way to get those. Like,
yeah,
but
and they're good interesting, but yeah, I'm not right now. I'm not in a position where I want to go down the rabbit hole where I'm looking at super, where I'm having to drop, $500 plus
yeah,
for every single
every
book I get. Right.
yeah,
Um, that's just prohibitive. There's a lot of Silver Age stuff out there that I can play around with that's undervalued, or not, or let's just say it's not undervalued by the people who are interested in the
sure,
genre,
yeah,
but the people who there's a lot of more people who don't care about it than
yes.
do, because it's not superheroes,
Or
right?
even yeah, even some of the superhero stuff. Okay, DC wise, there's still
Yeah.
bargains to be had. Marvel, every first appearance on Marvel has gone kind of nuts.
Yes, true.
Yeah, I agree. Like the Silver Age stuff, there's still some and yeah, non Silver Age non yeah, like sci-fi Silver Age you could still find.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that's been interesting to me more from a collection standpoint, other than my normal stuff I'm reading every day,
Yeah,
is the stuff that's non superhero, and not the horror stuff either.
yeah.
That's usually where when you hear people who are not getting non superhero books, they're getting the I want to get the pre-code horror, or I
Which
want to get the
those have gone stupidly expensive too lately. So yeah.
right. And that's right. You don't really hear as much people clamoring for the sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and that's fine. Although what's interesting is I think well you started doing it and Jimmy
Yeah.
started picking them up. The Tom Corbett Space Cadets,
Yeah.
after I pulled up was getting those. They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous covers and they're cheap. I mean, relatively.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah. I've always been a robot nerd. Like I did, I painted a book and half the book is robots. So like I'm a sci-fi geek and but I don't necessarily care about like I love modern sci-fi. I will watch it, but I love the space opera and like where like it's not none of it's actual science. It's all fantasy at this point, but it's
Mhm.
much more fun than
Yeah.
like the accurate like I'm trapped on Mars, so I'm shitting and growing potatoes in my shit. It's
Right.
interesting story. Not as fun as I'm saving the universe with a light sword. Like
That's right. I need a bubble helmet, but I can wear shorts, and
yeah, exactly.
and this girl can wear this dress.
Oh, I've got the first Dr. Bong already. That was that 19 or 18. I can't remember what issue it is of yeah, it's the first Dr. Bong. the Bronze Age, like it's something they just not give a fuck. They're just like putting drug references and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the other rabbit hole I've started finding myself going down is like 60s and 70s underground comics, just because of the Robert Crumbs and the Harvey Kurtzmans and some of the pure wackiness and some of that kind of stuff. I can't do all of it because they're real hard to find and they're not cheap. But
Mhm.
I've been dabbling because they're
Yeah, I could see if I was to go into the Bronze Age outside of my ASM and Batman runs that I've been working on. I wouldn't be opposed to, looking at like the Defenders run, or
yeah,
the Invaders run, or even potentially that Champions run.
sure.
Um,
Champions
those
has
were
gotten a little pricey, and so the Defenders. Like for the longest time, there was more everything was dollar bin in there, and now yeah,
Invaders is still cheap
Invaders is still cheap
ish.
because it takes place in an era that Marvel's most likely not going to visit in a cinematic universe, so you're fine.
Yeah,
Like, but
but
I
I
love
mean, what got me interested in them to begin with was, aside from the original lineup stuff, was just that was like the first time. That was the first, right now, and to date, still the only Schomburg cover I was able to
oh yeah,
get was that giant size Invaders #1 in the
oh yeah,
70s, which is a beautiful cover. And Schomburg, I'm sorry, I will fight almost anybody, is one of the best, if not the best, cover artists. Period. His stuff is beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I live for my personal grail at this point now
Yeah.
is to acquire one of those golden age Schomburg
Oh yeah.
covers. And if I could, and God forbid, if I could end up with like, the Startling comics or whatever,
Sure.
like with a
Yeah.
prototype Bender on it, it's
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah. The further away from there we get history wise, the harder it is to find too. And like it's all going to be estate sales at some point, about it or something. But
well, yeah, I mean, because I was like looking at one of them the other day. It was like a Purple Label 5.0 was
yeah,
$9,000.
yeah.
It's like,
Your only hope is like you just find them in a stack of shit where somebody doesn't know what they have. Like that's and then you're the asshole that's like, I don't
that,
know.
or my entire, God forbid, my entire family dies.
Yeah.
No one's left to hold me accountable.
All right, so this brings up another question. Not necessarily a grail, but do you have like a favorite comic that you own? It doesn't have to be like the most valuable or anything, but like
yeah, I mean, I have several that are my favorite, but
that's not the word. Apparently, you and I have different definitions of the word favorite, sir. No,
no. No, it's you have that like top couple because you can't really ever.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose one. I mean, and they're for different reasons, right? So I mean, the ASM 300. That's was my brother-in-law's. It's got the whole story that I've told
that's a
several
great story.
times. That's a great one. Amazing Spider-Man 2099 #1. I mean,
yeah,
that the original Red Label. That is the first book. I mean, it's not the first book, but it's one of the. It's that's what started me on my comic collecting again with Spider-Man 2099 issue #1 off the newsstand rack at the PX. My Wolverine #1 in a 9.4 is the first slab I ever bought with my sister at a con. Those are books that stand out to me as probably some of the most important ones to me. Although there's a lot of greatness to be had, and
there is, yes.
there's even more that's still sitting in the freaking room somewhere at a grading company.
Well, we could chat about that forever. That was like how long things and the bad, the shitty.
We're getting close to, all told, sitting outstanding. There's probably close to 300 books now.
That's impressive. Yeah,
well, is it, or is that just stupid? It's like
listen, they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's impressively stupid. Got it.
You could walk across America, and that'd be impressive. It's pretty stupid. You could deep fry an entire cow. It probably tastes like ass. But
completed a Hobgoblin collection, working on a Spike.
That's awesome.
I wish I was smart enough to collect Spectacular Spider-Man instead of Amazing Spider-Man. I'd be a much richer person. But I am down. Somebody asked me today because I did unbox a major Amazing Key today, and so now I'm down to like 13 issues left.
Of the 1 to 100.
Yeah,
nice.
But only one of them is above issue 30, so it's like
it's gonna be a while.
Only one more cheap book left.
There was one I was watching a YouTube auction eBay auction earlier today, and I just slipped my thing, or I would have ended up probably pulling the trigger, even though it ended up at $300, and it looked to be a very high grade Secret Wars #8, and then a slabbed ASM 375/96, which is I don't give a rat's ass about that book, but it was signed by Stan Lee, and then it had a low grade, like real low grade ASM #10. And I was like, okay, but all those three books, if you get value in any one of those three, it was over 300. Like, you could have flipped the ASM 375 but I just I had something else going on, and I just missed the notification on a.
No, the ASM 10 might have been worth less than 300, just because it's the only ASM. It's the cheapest of the first 10.
Of the first 10. I get it. So that one, but I mean,
but still. I get what you're saying, though. Combined, it was.
I could have tripled my money without blinking. It was without trying very hard.
Yeah, I mean, you sell the Stan Lee book $300, even no matter what it is, practically, just because it's got his signature on it. If it's above a 9, right? So
yeah. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Yeah, but like that's the thing you have to start doing now. Like, and you know this, like you have to look for auctions where like the good books are hidden, or they're not worded right, or there's something where because otherwise, you're never.
Well, the other piece I'm on is, there's a lot of, so there's a bunch of ASM first 100s that I have that are duplicates that are because I'd get one and later on,
Oh,
I
I'm
get
paid.
another one. That first one wasn't really good.
Yeah.
But I'm slabbing them all. So I got to wait for them to come back. And once they all come back, I can figure out which one I want to keep. And I can then turn the others and compile some of that to get some of them. So that's part of a plan there. And I've even on a couple times seen stuff that's just stupid. You're perusing the about to end and you go like, that's so low. I can't let somebody have it for that price. When I can take it for the.
That's the problem with some of this. It's like I already
But then
have
I don't sell it.
But welcome to collecting. Yes, where you're like,
but it might go up more later.
and you don't sell a whole lot. I mean, you do the occasional mystery box, but like you.
Yeah, that's why I've done a few. I'm kind of contemplating how I'm going to move forward with selling a few because I do plan to move a few books, some slabs, probably this year in order to make another acquisition.
Sure.
And so I have to figure out if do I want to futz with eBay and that stuff, or do I want to try to sell it on Instagram where I can not be subject to my stupid tax form?
Yeah.
Or do I want to try some other platform? I haven't decided yet. I have to figure that out. But yeah, I am slabbing 1 through 100.
Nice. Well, you can always do like Comic Link or Heritage auctions too, but then you're still in the tax thing. Then.
Yeah, that and those auctions are like super.
Yeah.
I don't like how much percentage they take.
Yeah, there's
so.
Well, I mean, eBay takes 14% too, so.
Right. I know they do, but it's not 30%.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, that's true.
So I don't know. I know my slabs is 1% or something, but I don't know how well they sell there. I don't know.
The thing with eBay is, shitty as they may be, and they are shitty.
They have an audience.
They have the built-in audience, and you can just set them up there and let them sit. You put them at a price that you think is ridiculous, and like you just, at some point, somebody will pull the trigger eventually. Like I've got my probably most expensive like slab is on there at a ridiculous price. But at some point, somebody will probably pull the trigger, and if not, it doesn't matter because it's a ridiculous price, So
yeah, no, because I'm actually probably gonna move my first 12 issues of Submariner that are all slabbed.
Yeah, and if you time that right, you can do all right. It's another one of those you gotta like hit it when a trailer drops or something, and you could.
Well, I'd like to actually, so I'm like, yeah, I mean, potentially you could hit peak. I don't mind moving it slightly before that, so that way somebody else has a chance if they want to piece it out themselves and
and do a little bit better
and do something. I don't mind doing that type of stuff, but because it's so much above what I paid. I bought all of my Submariner books raw.
Yeah.
With the exception of Submariner 1. And the Submariner 1, when I bought it, it was a lower grade. I've had it pressed and cleaned and got a grade bump out of it. And I paid, minimal for it because I bought it, before any of this wackiness. So to see it, up where it is crazy to me because that's why I sold my Submariner Iron Man #1 for that same reason.
Sure.
Because when I bought it, it was like a $50 book or whatever, and it was up close to $400. And I said, okay, well, somebody wants to pay me $400 for it, I'll take it, and they did.
Yeah.
I asked FMV on a PGX book, somebody paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point, I mean, there's emotions, there's love in the book, but at some point, there's like,
right. And Submariner, I love the thing is for me. So my love of Submariner really is with the Golden Age Submariner, not really the Silver Age Submariner. So I just can't afford Golden Age Submariner.
Yeah.
And I'm still drunk from Man Cave Comics showing off that.
Yeah. No shit. Like that was,
so
go ahead. I was gonna plug
go ahead.
I was going to plug your latest. Go watch all the Slab Hub issues or episodes on Rob's channel, but go watch the most recent, especially if you dig at this kind of conversation we're having, or any kind of Golden Age or like early Silver Age books, because like you were going to see some books that'll make your jaw drop on his on the latest.
Him and Paul Sector 2815
Yeah,
has brought on some amazing old books too. A lot of old Green Lantern and old Flash books. But Man Cave, he's going to be on every 3 weeks for the next couple months. And this one was kind of his sampler episode. And then he's talking about doing some themes, like an entire episode of all pre-code horror and
which is
different stuff. So
the fact that he has that many books to do that is just astounding. Like it's
he's got like twice the slabs I have. We were talking about it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, really? Wow.
And you have a ton. Like I don't like, but I started from like having no comics pre-COVID because mine all got damaged in a move and they were all waterlogged and stuff. So like I had nothing because they were all raw and they were all destroyed. So like I try it, but I'm at baby levels compared to some of you guys. So
yeah, well, I got carried. There's some of it was carried away at certain points with just slabbing everything modern. I have a lot of modern slabs as well as a bunch of old slabs too. I don't slab as much modern stuff now.
Well, because it takes a year.
Well, it's old. It's previous age by the time it gets back. No, the ones I do, I have like some that are stacked up waiting to go out. The ones I do tend to be nowadays ratios or exclusive Virgin variants that are low print runs. And that's pretty much what I stick to on those. Or else they're signed, because I do a lot of signings.
Well, if you want to trade for a 7-time signed ASM 300, we can talk. So.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. It's like I've not. That's like the one book on my wall that I've decided like I'm not going to.
Well, you also have the story of that one too, which and I would ask for a ridiculous amount back in trade on it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
trade or cash. I know you are, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
it's not a small book.
It's just a unicorn, and that's why.
Right. And what's the grade on it? Isn't that like a 9?
It's a 9.2, but I don't think it's pressed. So I think it could probably why you ever would unless you had it witnessed all the way along or want another signature on it, But it's got everybody that's ever.
But who else could you get?
Yeah. So unless you really wanted like Tom Holland or fucking Tom Hardy or something.
Is it Michelini? He's coming up.
Michelini, he's on there. Jeff Parker did a sign, McFarlane, Stanley, like everyone that's ever touched that book is on there already. So it's like, what else would you do? So
yeah, you just leave it as is. I mean,
that is. It's just like crazy artifact. So
it is. It's for somebody who wants that.
Yeah, has to want that artifact, which I know is a hard sell, but it's also like I don't have the emotional attachment to that character. Like Venom means nothing to me, like at all. Like I just don't think it's a great character. So like I would trade it for like characters I dig or like combination because it's just there is an emotional aspect to collecting comics as well as just monetary, obviously. Like well, for most people. For some people, it's purely monetary, which is fine. But I wouldn't collect this if there wasn't. Yeah, sold, DJ. Yeah, no problem.
You got it here on video. It's recorded. It's a
there we go.
Verbal contract. You're all good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah. So, I mean.
No, I mean I did actually. As interesting as that is, I really dig more, and I'm just like you. I'm sure your Star Wars one that's got all those damn fucking signatures on it too.
Because again, I have the emotional attachment to Star Wars, which is it's the first. Like I've told this numerous times, the first movie I ever saw like any kind of theater. So it's like. I don't know if there would have been a better way for me to ever start watching movies like in a theater than in the original.
DJ said to goods and services.
Yeah. Oh, goods and services. Oh,
well. Emmanuel, thank you. Yeah, no, I absolutely know. I've actually sold a couple via IG in the past, and I think that I would probably try that first, just because. In order to, one of the things people say, you can't really avoid the tax or whatever. So if I sell it that way and I sell onesie twosies here and there, and you're doing the transactions, then it counts as like a garage sale type transactions. And they don't, and since I'm not a business, I'm not getting goods and services. It actually doesn't count against you on that for aspect, but it's you have to be able to be prepared to be able to back that up. And so the occasional itsy bitsy sale that works for me from that aspect. So
Instagram's I found it's a tough sell too, as far as
It is
getting people to buy off, pull the trigger.
A lot of people are just liking and moving on, and
I mean,
so unless you're one of those things where somebody's doing it or they happen to be looking for it, which is fine. But once it posts up, it's after 1 or 2 days, unless you're reposting it, it's not out there as much. Whereas eBay, you got these people who are looking and they're searching and stuff, and that's where, from a selling platform aspect, it becomes a better way to do it.
DJ, this would not all be a fair trade, but in a heartbeat, I would have traded for Journey into Mystery 83. In a heartbeat, first Thor, hands down, no problem. Like, and I would get the better end of that trade, because that's, I mean, unless it's a very, very, very low grade, but still, like, I would trade for Journey to Mystery 83, because, like, I dig Thor, I dig the mythology of it, I dig Loki, I dig the whole sibling rivalry of it, I dig that all, But I
have an Iron Ghost trade paperback. I'll trade.
There you go. You throw that in there, and it's a done deal. So, but I mean, or like, I'd be stupid not to for like some of the like like Fantastic Four #1, or like X-Men 1, or X-Men 1, or like some of these other keys, like, that are not like the Silver Age key, like Marvel keys. I'd just be stupid not to, like, and also I dig X-Men more than Venom, so I'd do that too, or AF-15, sure, yeah, of course, yeah, exactly, yeah, or like first Doctor Doom or something like that.
You, dog. Sure. Your name's not. My dog came running over when I did that.
Yeah,
I guess I checked to see if I was okay.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, it's good. It's a good dog. Yes, a lot of belly rubbing on it. Yes.
She's gonna love it, because it's gonna be just me and her for the next week.
Now you got the house to yourself.
Yeah, my wife and my youngest are going off to go visit colleges and make a decision on where my money's going next semester.
All right. So, future reference, guys, Rob's not going to have pants on all next week. So
I don't have pants on now. What are you talking about?
There you go.
I mean, what's coming on with you?
Yeah, that's true. Pants are overrated. Well, that's a good tangent then, probably, because we're getting at about the hour mark. Well, what do you have coming up this week?
I'm glad that you asked that. I do have an unboxing of some CGC signature series books on Thursday. Saturday is Slab Hub. We have the Company Man, Wink Inc., making an appearance this week. Going to show off some slabby boys. Before we go flip it back around the calendar, and we'll be doing it all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, tomorrow I'll be on Gary's channel. Right. I co-host with him his new show 1011.
Yeah.
I don't know who the guest is because I'm co-host. I don't have to.
You don't have. That's the beauty of you're the Ed McMahon. You don't have to know shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just there to look pretty.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to come and show off 10 raw books that are important to and in one book with a story, etc.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a very Gary type of show, which is cool.
Yeah. It's easy. I mean, it alternates with my Sidekicks Talk Comic show, and gives me
and that's your next one of that's on March 1st, right? That's Batman.
Yeah. So it'll be March 1st, and we'll be doing Batman. Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
Well, and then 2 weeks from now, you can catch me on Rob's show, where I'm talking about like slabs and stuff on Pornhub.
Yeah. Taylor's gonna be on Slab Hub. That's right.
Exactly. And my slabs, unlike Tyler's, will actually be comic books. So
thank you. I appreciate that greatly.
Yeah.
As does my doctor and my blood pressure.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can still get it to rise a little bit. But no.
This is Howard the Duck 13. It has no reference.
I do have the first Howard the Duck somewhere over there, though. The first one. It's Fear 19. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. And what I have coming up, like, if you watch my video tomorrow, you can find out how to win this family tree by Jeff Lemire and Phil Hester. Wednesday's my weekly comic book review show. Thursday, I got some random bullshit unboxing. Next Monday, I have the only White Shadow.
Shadow.
On Unboxing Match episode 6. I mentioned this in the beginning. I have a backup already, but if any of you are interested and in the US and can put together a box and want to be on this show on March 14th, I have an opening. So hit me up on Instagram at Empty Thought Balloon if that's the case, and we could chat. It's a fun, relaxed time. We just basically put together a list of what you collect, what I collect, and whatever, and we just have a conversation kind of like this. So it's pretty low key. It's pretty fun. It's a good way to. And the idea is not to go out and buy books. The idea is that like I have a broad enough idea of what I like, and most like collectors usually have like several things they like, and so getting rid of books that you don't necessarily collect that other people might. It's sort of a swap. That's the idea. It's like an exchange of bodily fluids and comics.
That's right. That's why everyone who's been promoting this as a box battle. It's not a box battle.
It's not really a box battle.
That's why it's called unboxing. We're taking back our punches.
Yeah.
And we're just exchanging things.
Yeah, it is still a mystery box, and there is still some mystery. Obviously, it's just kind of a fun.
There's a mystery to solve.
Yes.
Stick around for Scooby Doo. Wait, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's not a live without Rob singing something. So.
My head is filled with so much useless garbage that just gets triggered by certain keywords.
There you go. That's
I don't know if you have that problem.
I'll make you a shirt that just says triggered. And that'll go very well in today's culture. So, and on that note, everybody, I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna call this one a night, and don't be a dick. And,
thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on. I appreciate it. It was a fun time, and we'll talk to you all soon.